We're here today for the kick-off event for CRIF, which is the Cambridgeshire Renewables Infrastructure Framework.
That's right.
Bit of a mouthful.
Well done.
Can you explain to me what that's all about?
Yeah, of course. I mean, essentially the work we're doing here around the Cambridgeshire Renewables Infrastructure Framework is trying to identify where the key opportunities are within the county for the installation of major renewables infrastructure in terms of different forms of energy, solar, wind, biomass, all the different types, and looking at trying to map all of that across the county so we understand where the real opportunities are and when we can draw investment in to actually move us towards a kind of less dependent future, less dependent on fossil fuels.
And what are we doing at this event today?
Well, today really, I mean, there's been work going on for the last year or so. Today really is about the kick-off of the engagement with a much wider subsection of the community. So we've got people from the industry, we've got people from local authorities, we've got politicians, we've got officers. We've got a whole bunch of people, all of whom are trying to, we're trying to get across to them what opportunities we think are available within this work and why it's really exciting.
Can you give me some examples of what sort of opportunities you might be talking about?
Yeah, I mean, for example, if you think about, what is it we have in abundance in parts of Cambridgeshire? Well, we've got lots of land in the north of Cambridgeshire, for example. It's possible to look at whether you could site solar farms there and actually find a means of using solar energy more effectively. There's also opportunities for looking at using biomass combined heat and power plants in other parts of the county. So we're looking at, there are different solutions that are applicable in different areas, but we'll try to get across to the audience what those opportunities are and why, if we can sort of coalesce around a plan for this investment, it de-risks the position for potential investors. It means we get more of the opportunities exploited here, more of the investment in this county, more jobs in these growing industries in this county, and we wean ourselves off a fossil fuel dependency with all the uncertainty that goes with that and the likely continuation of price increases for fossil fuel-based energy sources.
And as you say, we've got different people coming from different places, essentially.
Yeah.
People from communities in Cambridgeshire, different villages, etc. Now, what kind of involvement are you envisaging for them?
Well, I mean, very much we're trying to make sure this is something that's bottom up, not top down. This is about actually ensuring that communities can come forward and realise the benefits of moving to energy solutions that are better for them in the long run. Things they can see, things they can actually be comfortable with. We can dispel some of the myths around some of the energy solutions that are available, but very much try to engage with the community so that what we deliver in the end, what is delivered in the end, is something that they've shaped.
And there's talk of you're investigating something about a community fund as well, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, in addition to, I've talked about the sort of infrastructure framework position, but we're also trying to look at ways in which we provide funding for those sorts of major energy installations. And actually, as currently stands, often you need some assistance. It's not just privately funded. So what we're trying to do is set up a community energy fund, which allows us, as the major housing developments in Cambridgeshire come through, we provide a means by which developers can actually put some of their contribution towards reducing the carbon effect of their new development into a community energy fund. As we build that up, we can then actually deliver big-scale solutions which give you a better bang for your buck, rather than requiring developers to do everything on the site, on their development site itself. Now, sometimes there are things that have to be done and should be done on the development sites, but there comes a point often where actually the sort of gain to cost ratio is better to put things into a fund which we build up, and that might then allow us to then put some funding into a very large scale energy solution which would be better all round.
And what sort of large-scale energy solutions would you envisage?
Well, that's back to the things I talked about earlier, really. So it is things like looking at what options are around. And, we're sort of technology neutral in a sense, but it's just looking at what is the capacity for solar, for energy, for biomass, anaerobic digestion, all those sorts of different forms of energy supply. And I think that one of the key things about this is the more we can get this right, the more security of energy supply we have. We want to get to a position where we're not dependent upon the political situation in Ukraine for our own energy needs. So that's really largely what this is about. And it's not to say that other areas of this agenda, like encouraging people to use less energy, they remain as important as ever before. But there will always be a demand for energy, and we're trying to find ways in which we can generate more of that from a homegrown basis.